We're going live. Hello, everyone. I believe we are live. So if you can hear me, please go ahead and type llama. Type llama on the chat. Let me see those llamas. So I can already see y'all chatting and having fun. So this is awesome. All right, how you're feeling tonight? It's a lovely, lovely Friday. We are super excited to be here with you. I see my llamas. Thank you so much. This is awesome. It is happening. Yay! Awesome. All right, we are set. All right, everyone. So hello, my name is Maria Pais, and I'm your host for today. And I'm here with Farley, and we are super excited to bring you this demo. If you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, then please go ahead and click the bell so you'll get notified of every new demo that we create. Now, also please subscribe to our email newsletter and whitelist us so we don't get sent to spam. And grab the link of today's demo, share it with your friends, bring them over, and let's have a Friday drawing party. Now, for today, if you have any questions for Farley, please write the word question in all caps in the chat and then write your question normally. This helps me scan the chat because I already can tell that you're all chatting away. So this will help me find your questions easy and make sure that I don't miss them. However, I will ask Farley the questions that are relevant for what she's doing at the moment. And if it's not, then I will save it for the Q&A portion at the end. So I am seeing your questions. I'm not asking them because it's not relevant, but I am seeing them, I promise. For today, we have a 1 hour time limit, but before we get started, Farley, we would love to take a quick tour of your sketchbook.
Alrighty, well, well, hello, first of all, hello to everyone out there who I know and may not know yet. So good to have you here on this wonderful Friday or Saturday day or evening, wherever you're at. So I am primarily a traditional artist, and I started using Etchr last year, actually. And one of my main projects was in this very tiny, very tiny sketchbook. And it was something kind of like Inktober, but it was called Stream Ink. And so I challenged myself. Whenever I start a new sketchbook, I challenge myself. And I think a lot of us have the points that we want to target whenever we're working in our sketchbook or on our pieces. And so for this one, I really wanted to get better with illustrations, and I wanted to get better with storytelling and writing. So those are the main things that I was pinpointing throughout this whole thing. You'll see some of the pages have writing in them. Some of them, actually, all of them have this kind of what looks like a Polaroid picture. And that was so I knew in the space given what I wanted to draw, like it gave it a nice composition to the piece. And so as we kind of flip through to different ones, you can kind of see, I don't know, like so the prompt words are here, and I just had so much fun figuring out what I wanted to do each and every day. So I did do this every single day. I streamed it on Twitch as well every single day in October. It was quite the feat. This is actually one of the promo pics that was given to the Etchr team. They made great use of it as well. But this is just kind of where I was wanting to go with it. And primarily, I would never use words with my art, but that was the challenge, was to use words in a graphic way and see how I could combine the two ideas together. So this is just a quick peek through my sketchbook. This is one of my favorite spreads right here, kind of like almost in an embroidery pattern. And then we have the door in the field, but you know, it was bringing us to the light. So that's just like a quick synopsis of this sketchbook. But a lot of times whenever I'm starting a new sketchbook and I have no idea what the paper quality is or what I'm working with, which was exactly how I felt about the perfect sketchbook, which can cost, you know, a little bit. It's quite an investment, but it's definitely worth it because it lays flat as well. Like when you first open it, and you can paint on both sides of like the very starter page. I was like, what am I going to do with this? And I was very into Animal Crossing at this time. So I wanted to see how ink would hold with this as well as the watercolor. And this is why I decided to kind of lay it out in a very fun and colorful pattern, and then draw just some of the little images from Animal Crossing in the beginning. You know, every time you open it, you want to have some spark of joy in there. And this just always makes me smile when I see it. So that's just a brief thing about me and my sketchbooks.
Awesome. No, this looks amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your sketchbook. We have a very active crowd on the chat. A lot of people that know each other, so that's super, super cool. The brand of sketchbook, by the way, guys, it's Etchr. It's Etchr Sketchbook. So I'll be dropping links in the chat so you can all see our wonderful, wonderful sketchbooks that Farley's been using and that we are promoting today. And also, in case anybody doesn't know it, Etchr is actually a vegan-friendly brand. So there you go. If you're also environmentally conscious, we are a great choice. So Farley, how are you feeling? Are we ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready to go if you are.
Awesome.
So I will sometimes take a little bit of time to get into a piece and then to execute it. We kind of have a running joke on stream that it's a miracle if I ever do anything art related on stream, because I'll just sit there and talk. So for this piece in particular, I wanted to do the ink work in a one-line drawing. That way it's pretty quick. It frees me up. It's almost like a little mini warm-up, and it doesn't make me too focused on rendering and details, because the main objectives that I want for this page is to have a better flow with my watercolors. It's to practice plants, and it's to practice some rendering with watercolor as well. So flow of the watercolor, rendering of the watercolor, and what was the third thing I said? And that third one there.
Composition? Layout? Not sure.
Rendering and flow. We'll just go with those two for right now.
Let's do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So if any of you have done a one-line drawing before, basically you start in one spot and then you don't pick up your pen for the rest of the time that it's on the paper.
I'm going to spotlight you.
All right. What is that?
Yeah, there you go. All right. So people are seeing your painting huge and they are not seeing our faces anymore.
Oh, okay, good. That's probably better. It's probably for the best. I mean, not your face. Your face is lovely. So I just kind of like to be free with it, especially since ink is not what I'm wanting to pinpoint with today's piece. It doesn't matter if I'm going outside of my pencil lines. It doesn't matter if I'm too exact or not. I just kind of wanted to free myself and to be able to create like some of these patterns. And I believe the line work is somewhere, right? Is this line work somewhere, or
what do you mean somewhere?
Is that for the workshop?
Are you
I'm so sorry.
Line work in the mini workshop, you're saying?
Oh, is it for the mini workshop? I gave the line work to someone. Maybe it was for the mini workshop.
We do have a reference though. There is a reference.
Oh, okay. Okay.
For y'all to grab. I'm gonna post the picture, the reference photo on the chat, so y'all can grab that if you want it. Yeah.
All right. And so I have not picked up my pen once.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of sketching this in. Now, if I were wanting to focus on my ink work, I probably wouldn't like actually do it like this per se. I would want to have the ability to go back in and render with ink, but this is just kind of how I like to free it up.
They're asking what kind of pen you're using.
This is a Sakura Micron, and usually I'll use this. It's waterproof, which is super, super helpful when working with watercolors. And it comes in different nib sizes, so you can really pinpoint exactly what you want. I'm using the 08, which is one of the biggest ones. And the reason I'm doing that is because since I'm not rendering things, I really don't need it to be a fine tip. It's okay if it's a thicker, because it's a little bit more like design work, if you will. Yeah. All right, now that I'm kind of looking at it, it looks like we've gotten most of our line work done. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up my pen. Boom.
Wow, that was super efficient.
We did it. And you'll see light pencil work here, but I'm probably not actually going to do exactly what's on there right now. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes, because the whole point is to be free. It's to be able to experiment with the different things that you want to learn. So if you're wanting to learn like anatomy or something, you could put like an eye here, or like a face, or maybe a shoulder. You could put anything you want in these frames. You could have multiple frames. You could do anything. I'm just trying to show you how I like to lay things out, so I have the ability to feel free in creating something that may not look quite so pretty on my spread and like usually. So now I'm going to go ahead and go in. I have an Escoda brush. It's one of their travel brushes, and I usually put aloe vera on my bristles at the last time I use it. So I'm just breaking the cast right here.
Spa for
and that's
your
so
brushes.
it can, what?
A spa for your brushes.
Exactly. Dip it in aloe vera and massage it into the bristles.
And what does it do for the bristles?
It helps to condition, and it helps to keep the point. So here's one that I haven't broken the cast with yet. This is, it's good for natural brushes. With the Etchr brushes, since they are vegan, it's more of a synthetic. You probably won't need to do it as much, but with your round brushes, I do recommend it, especially for natural haired brushes, just because it keeps that nice point. So this one's like kind of harder. You can tell like the bristles aren't moving, but once I break that cast, which is very simple to do, you just kind of rub it either on a towel or your hand. And once you break the cast, well, it'll start to become softer, but then it keeps that point. It's really nice. It's really beneficial.
Great idea. Yeah.
And then I just keep my aloe vera in this disgusting little jar. It's just a little travel jar. Nothing too pretty about that one. All righty. For some reason, I can't find my eraser, but since this is more just like a practice type of thing, I'm just going to go ahead. It's fine. If I have a little bit of graphite on there, it's fine. Okay, so I like to use watercolor and gouache, which is also with the ink. That's why I kind of consider myself more of a mixed media artist when it comes to my sketchbooks. I really love layering a first layer of watercolors. And I feel like because the gouache is so opaque, it's really nice to render that in for the detail work and everything.
Right. Also,
and
just a quick reminder for you, we are only seeing your paper, so they're missing your facial expressions.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, was I doing something funny with my face?
A little bit.
Oh.
I'm sad they missed it.
Oh no.
But yeah,
I'm kind of glad now.
They can only see your sketchbook.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Oh no. I forgot. I don't even know what I was doing. Oh dear. I feel called out.
No, it was adorable.
Oh, you're so sweet, Marie. Thank you. So this is a lemon yellow. I just kind of like to sprinkle vibrant colors in whenever I'm working on some stuff. For this one, I had kind of sketched in some jellyfish air plants, but that's actually something I'm going to be going over more in the workshop. So I'm going to kind of switch it up and do maybe something a little bit more, I don't know, in the other photo, or in the other time that I had done this, we had done roses. Maybe I'll do tulips this time, actually. So I think that's what I'm going to do.
Shaking it up, everyone.
I know. Well, it's all about experimentation, and I don't like to do the same thing twice. So
that's fine.
I really love tulips too.
That's fine. We love a surprise.
I do have some awesome metallic watercolors, and because this is all about experimentation, I am going to go ahead and wet some of them right now, because with metallics, you want to go ahead and wet them and then like let them set for a minute or two before you try to work with them at all. Just a little tip, they get softer the longer they have water on them.
So you're just putting water with a eyedropper?
Yeah, this is this is actually a scalp hair care. Yeah, I repurpose everything. So this is a hair thing. But you can repurpose whatever eyedropper you have in your cabinets for your watercolor.
I love how everything's a spa today.
Yeah, exactly. We're here to relax, right? We're here to relax. Okay, so with for the most part, I'm not going to be actually using that many colors. I am going to dip into my watercolor sap green here while the paper is still a little bit wet, and I'm going to go ahead and just kind of splooch. That's a technical term, everyone. Splooch it in. Just in different spots. I mean, you're learning, right, from me. So you're welcome, everyone.
We're all learning, everyone.
I know, yeah, you're all learning. It's a learning process. I'm giving you the terms from the streets. That's what I'm doing.
They're not going to forget it, I can assure you.
All right. And this is like where you can kind of have fun with your color palette. Maybe you wouldn't do something like this in a fully rendered piece for a client or something, but this is our sketchbook. It's time to bring out the fun parts of it. So if you want to use like all muted tones, you go for it. If you want to use all neon, whatever. It doesn't really even matter if it's light fast because it's your sketchbook. It's going to close shut. So unless you're displaying your sketchbook out, you can use all those colors that you might prohibit yourself from using while you're working on client pieces. And that's like one of the best parts. That's like, this is Payne's Gray, which is one of my favorites, even though it does have black pigment in it, which is a cardinal sin against watercolors. It is one of my favorite colors. And I'm just gonna like dabble in some shadows here and there. Only more towards like this part of it, because that's where you'd get a little bit more shadow to it. These are more like the sprigs coming down.
So how do you not freak out if you ever make a mistake in your sketchbook?
There are times, but it's a sketchbook. It's one of those things where I've kind of learned. I've been at this for a while at the art game for professionally for 5 years, and this is the place where I can allow myself to make mistakes. And if we do like make a mistake today, then I'll kind of show you how I can problem solve my way out of it. But that also comes with practice. Traditional media, you have to learn how to problem solve your way out of things. And if you make a mistake in your sketchbook, that's just one more way to learn. Because what if you're working on this for a client and you make a mistake? Unless it's a huge mistake that you cannot problem solve your way out of, you're not going to necessarily tear it up and then start all over. Chances are you're going to find a workaround. And so this is a great way to experiment on how you can find that workaround.
I like that. That's a great way of seeing things.
Yeah, I used to be very much into like the pretty, everything has to be pretty in my sketchbook. And I can flip through and show you some of my ugly pages too, because there are some ugly pages. But it's all about the learning process. That's what a sketchbook should be. And sometimes I feel like on social media, we get a little too bogged down in the pretty aspect of it instead of just enjoying the materials we have. Yeah, I've heard a few times, and I don't know if you've ever felt this before, but I've heard a few times like people say, "Oh, I just bought this art material, but I don't want to get it dirty, or I don't want to like mess something up and like all this stuff." And I'm like, "Then why'd you get it?" Like, if you get art materials just for decorative pieces, that's one thing. Like especially like antique type of stuff, that's one thing, and I get that. But art materials are supposed to be used and to have fun with.
Right.
Is
Yeah,
is
and
mine.
it's true. You know, I find that I've committed the cardinal sin of buying stuff and not using it. So I have like my fancy watercolor paper. I think
Yeah.
I've had that fancy watercolor paper for like 5 years, and I've actually never used it.
Oh, is it big sheets of them?
It's a
Or
block.
like blocks? Oh, a
Yeah,
block?
blocks.
Well, then in that case, because I have also run into that too. And I understand like a block is really nice because you don't necessarily have to tape it off. But if that's how you're feeling, something that I really like to do, and again, people might gasp at this, is because when I got my fob or Arches, it was an Arches watercolor block. I was so nervous to try it.
Yes.
Now I'm going to go into a vermilion light. And the brand I'm using is Schminka, by the way. But I was so nervous. And I was talking to one of my friends who's a photographer, and she was like, well, then cut it up. And I, what? No, you don't do that. She's like, why not? Like, just take off a piece of the top and then cut it up, and then you have like 4 different pieces you can experiment on. And so when you're ready to use one of the larger sheets, you'll feel more comfortable with that type of paper. I'm like, okay, you may have a point. I still deny it, but you may have a point.
Yeah.
And so I just started getting in that mindset where it was like, you know what, these are for our enjoyment. Like, why did we work so hard to be able to afford it if we're not going to enjoy them?
Farley throwing the wiseness, everyone.
I'm so wise.
You are. You are.
Oh, I don't know about that. That's very sweet.
All right, so we're on tulips now, right?
Yeah. Oh, yes. We are on the tulips. Right now I'm just letting this dry. This paper is so wonderful. And for those who like to work wet on wet and have the paper wet for quite a long period of time, you're gonna love this paper. But before I want to go in and render on details, I need to let it dry. So I'm moved on to more of the tulip area. You can still kind of see my pencil lines, but it's fine. It's fine. We can find some workarounds for that too. I tried to get as much off as I could, but my kneaded eraser is needed to needed, but ting, no pun intended, is I need to like get a new one because I'm also a charcoal artist, and it's full of like not great things to get rid of pencil. It's full of charcoal right now. Okay, I'm gonna dip into lemon yellow again to kind of pull out some of the lemon yellows in here, and have like a nice little tulip right here.
So are you doing that to harmonize?
Yeah, I mean, I just started watercolor. Well, I say just. I just started really studying watercolor about, I want to say 6 months ago.
Yep.
And I find it a lot easier for me to pick a very, very limited color palette so I don't overwhelm myself with choices. Because right now I have all of these choices, plus I have gouache, and sometimes it's just very overwhelming. So before I start a piece, I'll like kind of look at it and I'll say, okay, I'm going to use this as my yellow. I'm going to use this as more of my red, and then pick out maybe a blue. And then chances are, like, look at my Payne's gray. it's almost gone. And then that way I can kind of make a limited color palette for myself and not be so overwhelmed by all my choices. Because it's a lot. It's a lot. And when I'm practicing, I don't want to like worry too much, especially if color theory isn't what I'm focusing on.
Right. Yes. So you're focusing on one thing, not on something completely different.
Yeah, a lot of times it'll be like two again, for the life of me, I can't remember what that third thing that I said before was, but definitely like the flow, like if I'm treating this as if I had never used this paper before. So
Yeah.
seeing how it blooms out, seeing how if there is granulation in the pigment, seeing how that would work, seeing how the colors mix together on it, what it looks like, and stuff like that. So that's kind of what I would be looking for right now.
Yeah.
And then after that, rendering. There is one piece at the very end of this that I'll show you. It is of the Star Wars droids that I have done. It was one of actually the first full out pieces that I did in this sketchbook. And I learned a lot from it. But what I should have probably done is I should have done a piece like this where I try to render on this paper, because let me tell you, getting in there for some of like the lines and the gleams of the metal, it was a little bit trickier because I wasn't used to the tooth and of the paper. And if I had done these studies before I had done that piece, I would have known like better workarounds to be able to do it. So if you want to see that, like, you can either scroll through my Instagram, it's really far down there, or you can stay till the end, and I'll try to remember to show that off really quickly before we close out.
Also, everyone, if you want to join Farley for her mini workshop, I'm going to drop that link on the chat right now so you can sign up. We have been selling out, so don't hesitate to grab your seat. And it's going to be about how to do, visual composition, designing your spreads, creating balance. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be 90 minutes. Farley's going to be dropping all of those pearls of wisdom all along the way.
Wisdom, everyone.
Sign up, sign up.
I finally found my eraser too. Okay, so I went in with that vermilion from over here, and I just added it to my I'm an artist, to my yellow, to my lemon yellow, just to kind of see if this isn't glazing, but I kind of wanted to see if I could mix the pigments on the paper. So again, everything that we do on in our sketchbooks, it's information that's getting logged into our brain, whether we're thinking about it like that or not. It's just getting us familiar with the tools that we're using.
Right. That makes sense.
Okay.
So just to let you know, we are 30 minutes in.
All right. Wow. Okay, I'm not doing bad. Okay, so time-wise, I mean. Okay, so now what I want to do in this one, at first I was going to do kind of that embroidery technique that I had done in the other sketchbook, but I kind of want to switch it up again because I can never sit still on things. And instead of doing that, I think I'm going to do more of a graphic. So this is very watercolory and flowy. I kind of want to do something pretty sharp and precise over here, but not so, I guess, together, which I will show in just 1 second once I wash off my brush. I'm going to dip back into my ultramarine, which is what is here right on the sides of the tulips right here. And I'm going to go in here, make sure there's enough on my brush too. And actually, you know what? I'm going to erase this a little bit better because I'm not going to be putting, oh, that's a hair. Excuse me, I shed.
It's a normal problem.
It is. Oh, it's such a normal problem.
Yeah.
Okay. And I want to be careful that I don't like touch my palm to that part. That's like the biggest problem that I have with watercolors, touching my palms everywhere. Okay. Oh shoot, you can't really see it. Like in my palms.
Don't worry about it. Ooh. Satisfying line art.
Oh no, don't make me laugh. I know. I love watching those kind of oh dear. Those kind of satisfying like video type things on YouTube. Oh, it's so nice. And this one I'm just drawing more of like what could be just line art graphic type of plant-like thing.
Yeah.
That is also a technical name. It's
Yes.
Latin.
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you can't find it on Google, it's because it's archaic.
Exactly. It's so unknown that only one person in this world knows it, and that's me. So you're welcome, everyone. Oh gosh, I can't laugh when I do this. But again, if I mess up, it's not the end of the world. Actually, if I mess up, that might showcase what I would do if I did mess up. But let's not hope for that, everyone. And so with something like this, you could really tell like how precise I can be right here.
Yeah, those tiny little details.
Mm-hmm. And like we can kind of see that again with the gouache later, but I just kind of wanted to showcase that. I really love this sketchbook. I can't even say enough nice things about this one.
Yay!
It's probably one of my favorite art materials. And I'm for the most part a charcoal artist, so that's saying a lot for me to say that something with watercolor is one of my favorite art supplies. So now I'm going to go into my metallics, and I think I'm going to do maybe just like this nice bright, as you can see, I really like this one. It's very, it has a hole in it. But because I had put down that water first, like a few minutes ago, it's like nice and creamy now for us. So I'm going to go ahead and pick some of that up on my brush and come in and do some just very light accent work.
And do you need to clean your brush differently afterwards when you use those metallics?
Yes. There, like a lot of times I actually won't use my natural hair brushes, but for the sake of this live stream, it's not bad if you only use it a few times, and especially if you put the water in the pan beforehand. With metallics, a lot of times people, if they don't put the water in beforehand, then they're scrubbing and scrubbing and scrubbing that pan, and it's like, oof, you don't want to do that with your natural brushes. But with this one, it's pretty easy to get that metal, or not metal, the metallic out of there.
Yeah.
And so I'm not too worried about it. I have just like a rag here too that I've been wiping all my stuff off of, or all my brushes on, and that pretty much gets it, because oh wait, I showed it to my face, so like this. It's I keep forgetting they can't see my face, but like this, and it has like that toothing, so it's really nice to get in the bristles. Oh, I love this color. I've never used it with ultramarine though before. I kind of like that pairing.
See,
Last time I used it with like a
more discoveries, everyone.
Exactly, everyone. Look at us. So many things.
Trailblazing.
All right. What?
Trailblazing.
Exactly. Okay, so now at this point, what I'll probably do is I'll do the framing. I might do like a light wash in the background here for the wall. I'll do the vase and then the shelf, what everything's sitting on. After that, I'm going to go in with the gouache and I'm going to render more of this out. But I just kind of want to let you know my plan. So I'm going to go in with maybe, you know what, let's do a nice burnt umber. I think that would be good for the frame. And I made this a see-through kind of picture frame just to kind of give it a little bit of variety as well.
Yeah, I noticed that when you were like painting inside the blue of the other background. I was like, ooh, that's pretty.
I kind of, I attempted this one, like, what would I like to have sitting on my shelf.
Mm.
And sometimes that's all you really need to ask yourself is like, what do I think is aesthetically pleasing? And then just go from there. If you are a picture taker, then make yourself like almost like a little mini visual journal or scrapbook, which there's a great video on the Etchr Studio of oh shoot, I can't remember her name for the life of me, but I was watching her visual journal, and it was like of a maple syrup bottle.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's really nice. The resources y'all have on your
Thank you.
channel are really nice.
Yeah, we have a new site, everyone. It's called Etchr Studio. And it's actually where you can find all of our mini workshops, our classes, our live demos. And now we're offering mini workshop bundles, so you can purchase multiples. And if you sign up for Farley's mini workshop, you are going to get a video so you can see it. And these mini workshops are going to be available for as long as Etchr's around. So lifetime, hopefully. So sign up. Sign up
now. Sign up today. All right. Okay. So that, I mean, that's not bad for the frame.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I'm not rendering it yet. So let's move on over here. You know, I think I might bring, so far the ultramarine has been kind of featured in two. I kind of like this light wash of it. So I might do that more as like a highlight instead of just making it like an actual color. I might just try to make, I don't know if I'm explaining myself right, but kind of to see where the light source is.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to add it in here and just kind of lift it just a little bit. And then I'll start to layer in some of the other colors and see how I like. Actually, the light source might be over here. And this is what I mean. You can finagle it all in the sketchbook.
Sketchbook, not finished book, right?
Exactly. I'm going to come in here with, it's a Helio turquoise, which isn't in anything over here yet, but I just think it would kind of add a nice little addition with this blue for right now. I'm going to kind of spot that in right here, give a nice wash. And then when it,
and remember everyone, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to remind everyone that we are giving weekly prizes to our community members that tag us on Instagram or Facebook with hashtag Etchr Studio. So if you create something of what, like inspired on what Farley's been doing right now, or if you take a picture like you're attending the live demo and you're watching it and you want to share it, then please go ahead and tag us, and we are awarding one winner every week, and the price can be different, will be different each time. So sometimes we get sketchbooks, like the one she's using right now. Sometimes you get vouchers, sometimes you get mini workshop vouchers. So it's all, you don't know what you're gonna get, but it's gonna be awesome. So if you want to tag us, go for it. It's Etchr Studio.
Sign up today. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and let that dry because I'm still not exactly sure what I'm doing there. I kind of like that just easy two-tone, but we'll see. So for this shelf, I might just keep it white, and then, but I'm gonna do the background first, see how it goes. And again, this is, well, I don't know why I'm pointing my head. This is kind of what goes through my brain when I'm wanting to learn these different types of things.
Yeah.
Because I still want it to look like it's a piece that's supposed to be together, even though what I'm taking away from it is different types of information. So, oh, you know what?
Color.
Yeah, we'll just go, I think I'm just going to use this kind of a light wash of the yellow ochre. I think that'll just kind of tie it in nicely. If I want to create anything interesting in the background, I can always create stripes or something behind there or shadow work. But for right now, I think that this will be like the easiest type of wash. And it's really nice too, because also if you do like really big washes like this, you really get to know how your paper holds water.
Yeah.
Which is very, very important for watercolor.
Yep.
It's all about the paper. Okay, kind of, because I'm not being too precise.
It's
go ahead.
It's a test run, right?
Exactly. Actually, right now I'm on stream. I had been test running some paintings with fish, and I'm now doing a full out piece because someone saw my sketchbook pieces and they were like, "Ooh, can I buy that?" I'm like, "Well, I mean, I could rip it out for you, but I could also just commission you for something else because they've at least seen what I can do."
Mm-hmm.
And it's just one of those things where you never, even if you like create something and you're like, "Oh, it's just in my sketchbook," have faith in yourself that you can recreate or you can even make it better what you did before.
Mm-hmm.
Because as artists, I think sometimes we do hold things too precious and we don't rely on our skill set to be able to carry us through. So don't be afraid of that. Okay, so that's where we are right now. For right now, I'm going to keep that shelf white just for a little bit of contrast. Although it does kind of conflict with the white paper, so I may change that later on. But I'm going to go ahead and go into my gouache now and start rendering.
Ooh.
Yeah, gouache. I mean, it doesn't look pretty. This is the palette that I keep my gouache on. It looks disgusting, but we're artists, so.
If it works.
Exactly. If it works, it works.
If it's not Baroque.
Yeah.
If anybody caught that reference, I'm going to be really, really happy.
That if it's not Baroque.
Don't fix it. No.
Yeah. 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 I got it.
Yes.
Oh, you know what? I may need to squeeze a little bit more of the green gouache out. I kind of put a little too much water in there. Oopsies. And the gouache that I'm using is Graham Sap Green. If I can. There we go. Here we go. But yeah, spending time in my sketchbook used to be one of my biggest fears for some reason. Like, again, I was keeping things way too precious. And I don't know, ever since my friend told me that with my paper, it was just like, well, just cut it up.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I am keeping things like way too precious. Okay. So I'm going to just start kind of going in here and rendering out, which if you're a part of the art world, rendering just means like you're going to put in the details. I mean, if you're not a part of the art world, I mean. So it's just a fancy word.
And just to let you know, we are 43 minutes in.
Okay. Maybe I'll just suggestively render in different points. So like normally I'd probably try, because I usually dabble in realism. So I would want to render the crap out of, oh, I'm so sorry, the stuff out of everything. I'd want to render everything. I apologize.
Yes.
But because of the time limit, I'm just going to show what I would do for suggestions instead. Which suggestions just means that you don't render every single leaf, every single thing. You just kind of basically put it here and there. That's like the simplest way I guess I could describe that.
And remember, everyone, if you want to learn more with Farley, get an in-depth look, ask her more questions, paint alongside with her. and get access to that workshop for a lifetime, then sign up, sign up, sign up, sign up.
Come and paint with me.
Yes.
In a non-creepy way.
Yeah, it's going to be a blast. They're already having a blast.
Oh, I'm sure they are. If it's part of the group that I know is there, I'm sure they are. They're a good group. They are.
Someone
Absolutely love
mentioned
them.
cookie time.
Oh my gosh, no, I'm not having a cookie time, everyone. So in streams, Maria, I think you would like the streams, because in streams, there's a point redemption for me to just sit there and eat a cookie.
Ooh.
Yeah, we usually watch cat videos. So
I'm gonna have to follow you now.
people will now get cookies and redeem it so we can eat cookies together.
That's awesome.
It's fun. They're a really good group. I absolutely adore them.
Well, just in case we have people that don't know you and are running
Oh, that's very
for
true.
the first time here, what's your social media handle so they can follow you?
Everything, I say every single thing is Farley Creates. That's Farley without an E, bing, because everyone tries to put in Farley with an E, but it's Farley without an E, Creates. And you can find me on every single social media that I'm on with that handle.
Perfect.
And when I'm saying like the group, I stream on Twitch. And so that's the group that I'm talking about, are the people from chat from Twitch, and maybe from Instagram too. And maybe from Facebook. I pretty much told everyone about this. I told my family too. So hey fam, if you're watching as well. All right, this is like you see the M-gram is pretty opaque, but I do like to thin it out with the water still, even though gouache is kind of known to be opaque.
Yeah, they're a nice crowd.
They better be treating you right, Maria.
Oh, they are. We're having fun together.
Okay, good. Because I'll give them a talking to tomorrow if they're not.
No, they're a perfectly wholesome community, as someone just said.
Was that Womble or Chacha? Who said that? I don't believe it.
Shadowcraft.
Shadow. Oh, and that's a thing, Maria. This is also why I think you would like Twitch, or any other creatives out there would really like Twitch, because the community. Remember what it was like in art class, or art class or art studio, and you just had that group that got you. Yeah. And I don't know, like you could just walk in and create together and not say a word, and everyone was chill and cool.
Yep.
That's Twitch. That's the Twitch art community. And I don't think the art community gets enough love on Twitch. I've met some of my very best friends from there. I can talk. From there. It's an amazing group of supportive people. Any creative should go over there. There are a lot of, and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to like plug Twitch or anything, but I feel like I found a home like there. It's just nice to have people there that understand you. I mean, I love my friends who don't create and stuff, obviously, but it's just a different mentality we creators have.
It's very true. It's very true. That's why I love working with Etchr, because I get to meet all of you amazing artists.
It's so true. It's so true. I've really enjoyed the watching the workshops and the live streams and stuff. They're really good. There's so many talented people out there.
Yeah, very true. And you learn something different from everyone.
And everyone's like so humble too.
Very
it's
true.
Just like, oh, here's my piece. It's like, a masterpiece. I'm like, oh my gosh. Well, hello.
Oh, and by the way, everyone, hit that subscribe button.
Oh yeah, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, smash it.
And hit the bell, because otherwise you won't hear about us.
Smash all those buttons that notify you. Okay, so I'm just doing a dry technique with that oh dear, burnt umber, just to kind of push that wood element just a little bit further now that our paper is a little bit more dry.
And this is still gouache.
No, I'm sorry, I went back into my watercolors. This is
Oh.
that same brown. I had watered it down pretty heavily with that first wash. So this is it in kind of its truest form, but just very light strokes. And I kind of like that texture of the paper because it kind of pushes it more into wood. Like I said before, I'm traditionally a realist artist. And even though this is more of a design element that I've done, I still like to push realism elements in my work.
Right.
Tendencies.
All right, we got 10 minutes left.
Oh shoot. Everyone, I got a lot further than I thought I would. I'm so proud of myself. It's all because of Maria too. If it wasn't for Maria, I would have just sat here and talked for the hour.
No, you're doing a great job.
If you want to, Maria, you can come on my streams with me, and you can come on my streams and help me out there too. I need help over there.
Hey, let's talk, and we might make that happen.
I know, we could create a team effort over here.
Yeah, I'm enjoying the community, so it would be awesome.
Okay, so I mean, really, for the most part, you know what? I don't like this white here, so I am going to quickly put a wash down. But other than that, I feel like this is done. I mean, it could be considered done. I could obviously go in and render a lot more with everything, but for the sake of time. You know what? I'm just actually going to do a light wash of Payne's Gray, of course, because it's my baby. And we'll call it a day. Oh, and I'll show you the androids if you don't mind too.
Of course.
Me taking a moment to do that because it does showcase like pretty tight rendering on this paper. Oops.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I made an oopsies, but it's okay. Boop. And now it's kind of like a greenish blue shelf.
Yeah. Still works.
Yeah. And that's what I love about a lot of traditional artists is because we have to problem solve out of a lot of snags quite a bit.
Yeah, no undo, everyone.
Exactly. No Control Z, no Command whatever for Okay, so that's it. Really quickly, I'll show, I mean, my paper's still wet, but I'll show the droids and then
Oh, hang on.
Oh, what's up?
We got a question for you here.
Oh. What's the question?
Where are you based?
I am in the States. I'm in Maryland.
Ooh.
That was an easy question.
Yeah.
So this is the droid painting I had done, and this was the very first like fully rendered piece that I did.
Wow.
So, I mean, it was kind of a pain.
Is that
again,
gouache?
That's watercolor.
What?
Yeah. Well, I you know what, the ultramarine is gouache, but the rest of it is watercolor.
Wow, that's amazing.
This is how I used to watercolor. I was very tight with everything. But you can achieve such nice lines in this book too, which is very nice for rendering for watercolorists. It's not all just loosey-goosey all the time.
Yeah. Wow, this is stunning.
Oh, well, thank you. So yeah, well, that's the piece. Oopsies, sorry. Didn't mean to.
No problem.
Piece.
Now, I know you said that you do this for like learning purposes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I want to know what we learned today.
All right. So basically, I already knew this about the paper, but basically what we learned today is if we turn it, well, by the angle of my camera, I can't really turn it that well, but we can see that there, for as much water as we put down, there isn't as much buckling as there could have been with a lot of other. Now, if I had like taped it down to the sides, then there would be barely any. So what I learned, one, is that this watercolor paper can hold water pretty well. So if you're out and about with your sketchbook and doing a landscape or a portrait or anything, you can pretty much trust that it's not going to buckle so much that the water is going to pool up everywhere.
Yeah.
Two, what I learned is that ink flows really well. As long as your pen is like fresh and isn't running out of ink, the ink glides on pretty well. You still get some of that texture, but it just kind of depends. If you don't want as much texture, just go to a smaller nib. So I really, really enjoy like how I was able to just glide across the paper and it never skipped. There wasn't any, because it's 100% cotton, there wasn't any cellulose in there or wood pulp to make it like do weird things, which is also something that we learned about the watercolor paper too, is that every single patch of this is even if I wanted it to be. Now, granted, there are like some pockets right here where there's a little bit more paint on it than others. That's just because I didn't put my water down first. So the rendering is really good. You can see that it's pretty opaque where some of the gouaches, but you can still lighten up for translucency. The translucency is really good. Like right here, you can layer on that really well. There's so much that if I hadn't known it already, that I learned just by doing this piece. And I didn't even get into like half of it, but I mean, I can get into more of it if you want me to. I don't want to bore everyone out there though. But
No, we're not.
it's a lot of information. It's a lot of information that you learn.
No, and I think it's valuable for us to understand what's going through your head as well, because what makes it so valuable and what makes you such a great teacher too.
Oh. Well, thank you.
I'm putting your face back on so they can see your expressions now.
I'm sorry, everyone. It was a shock to the system, I know.
No, you're good. You're good. All right. So before we finish, I wanted to first thank you for this wonderful live demo, for your energy and your enthusiasm. It was super enjoyable to watch you paint.
Well, thank you for having me. This was a lot of fun. I'm
glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, we are just super excited to have you partner with us and just helping our audience and everyone understand that sketchbooks are sketchbooks and it's okay and we can experiment. And that is very, very important for artists in any kind of stage of their career. So thank you so much for sharing that. I didn't mean it about the pearls of wisdom. I wasn't being cheeky. I meant it.
Well, we all make mistakes too. So it's one of those things that, like you can build up your skill level to however high, you're still going to make mistakes. And why not have fun while making those mistakes?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So everyone, thank you so much for coming today. We had a blast.
Thank you, everyone.
If you like our products and your local stores don't carry them, tell them about us. That's a really great way to get the word out. Remember to visit our website. We are launching a lot of brand new products, so that's super cool. So you can play around with more of our stuff. And remember, if you are part of a company or part of a school and you would like Etchr to do a workshop for you, just email us at studio@etchrlab.com and we'll get back to you. Also, remember to whitelist our email. We know that we are getting sometimes thrown to spam, so little tidbit there. And remember to sign up for Farley's mini workshop. I'm going to drop that link one more time. And I'm also going to drop a link to our survey. Our surveys are very, very important to know that we are doing things right. And if you have another artist, maybe from the Twitch community, that you would like to appear here with us, you can also let us know their name on that survey. So thank you so much for coming today, for filling out our survey. Can't type and talk at the same time. There you go. All right. And thank you so much again for coming. And I don't know, Farley, if you want to say a couple of words before we go, or just wave them goodbye.
You said it great. Thank you for everyone from my community who came over. I was very nervous leading up to this, and you all like eased my nerves. And thank you to Maria, of course, and the Etchr team for making this a pretty seamless live demo. It was a lot of fun getting ready for this, and hopefully I did y'all proud out there. So thank you all so much for joining, and thank you for the new people who I'm meeting today. I hope you had a wonderful time and had some little tips and tricks made a little bit easier for you.
Absolutely. So thank you so much, everyone, for coming tonight. And we will see you for our next live demo on April 18th at noon EST with Eleanor Mills. You'll be painting skies and clouds. So join us then for more Etchr goodness. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a lovely rest of your day and see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye.
We're out.